enjoy sitting down and doing handwork. Well, I guess I do. I knitted this whole sweater. And now I thought it was a little plain, so I picked up this trim just to add a little glitz to it. I think it's quite pretty. I think I'm gonna wear it now. But the reason I'm doing this video is because I am finished with these. And I'm going to finish these up and I'm going to model them for you. And I'm very proud of them. Oops. I hope you'll join me. And here we go. This is my little plain box sweater. I have trimmed it in this gold. I thought it just kind of spruced it up a little bit. The sleeves can be worn down. They're kind of a bell sleeve. But I was thinking I might take this trim and put it around here too. But for the moment, I'm just going to leave it up. Anyway, I wanted you to see this sweater, and then I made that this winter. So now I have another one to show you. That's my little hoodie. And you'd be surprised how many times I have grabbed this thing to just wear as a little open hoodie like this, just to keep warm. So now this I have to fix this right here, which it's hanging off a little bit funny. This is a very soft sweater, and I want to add one sweater to my little collection here that I've done. This is an older sweater, but I've brought it out to revamp it. So I love this cherry red sweater, and I love the heaviness of it. It's a very warm, it's like more like a little coat jacket. And I sewed this Hansel and Gretel trim on it, and now it's one of my favorites. So I wanted to show you that too. So these are my 3 sweaters, and that's it. It's over. It's all done. The winter is done. And next we're gonna have to start talking about some summer clothes. What do you think about these short baggy pants? You know, we've been wearing the leggings and the tight jeans and skinny jeans and everything. And now this has come to life. I'm rather enjoying the comfort, I've got to tell you, of these pants. And these, I believe, I got these at Belk. I'm gonna have to look at the label. Okay, I looked at the label on these pants, and I do remember I got them at Marshall's. Now, they were probably not expensive, and they're called Wonderly. But I like them. They're like a black denim, and I actually wore them to a dressy, with my high heel boots. I wore them to a dressy luncheon at Christmas. So with a really Christmassy top, you know. So that's it. Now you've seen my knitting project. Hey everyone. I just want to talk a little bit about knitting. So I don't know much about the history. I know it dates back to, or at least artifacts that we have found date back to around the 10th century. And I also know that up until sometime in the late 1800s, actually it was in the 15th and 16th and 17th centuries, that knitting was regulated to men only. So, and the men used to, it was a profession where they had to become master knitters, and they made great tapestries for the king's palaces and a lot of things for, they were hired to do a lot of things like that. But women were not allowed to knit. Isn't that funny? Now, after somewhere in the 1800s, it had become acceptable for privileged society women to knit in the drawing room. And then I believe probably what happened, also they hired their servants to knit for them, their warm vest and underwear and gloves and hats and coats and things. So the servants would go, they would pass that on to the lesser societies. And it finally became acceptable again for for women in the lesser societies to start knitting to make money for themselves. It became an acceptable thing, which I think is kind of interesting. I think it was after World War II and during the war that women began to really knit a lot in this country. It all started in Britain, so to speak, but actually it started in Egypt ages ago, but it was really strong in Britain. But during the war, women got together and knitted warm clothing for the troops. They would knit muffs and caps and things to keep them warm, scarves and vests and gloves and socks and anything to keep the troops warm. And I think that was so awesome. So that's what happened there. And then it just became a thing that a lot of people did. That's the story. But I think the biggest thing I wanted to tell you is knitting is very, very healthy. And I think I wrote down 6. These are studies. So studies show that knitting reduces stress, the rhythmic and repetitiveness release serotonin. So and it's true. I can attest to that. I am a hyper person. And of course, now that I'm almost 80, I've settled down a lot. I think I had to, because there's just I can't match that energy anymore. And it's a good thing because I like being relaxed. It's nice. I always envied people who were really calm. I would have girlfriends that were just so calm about everything, and I'd be like chomping at the bit all the time. Anyway, so yeah, it's a total de-stressor. Anyway, another thing that has been found is that knitting fights against Alzheimer's. You have to remember a lot, and that creates new brain cells. You have to set goals. You have to complete the thing, and then you give it to others. Okay, it has also been known to help overcome addictions because it can be addictive itself. So it's sort of a replacement. It's very meditative. You can be alone and you can knit and knit. It also is conducive to being in groups. I know I knitted with a group of women one time. It took me a while to decide to go. We laughed so hard because, we were learning to knit a lot of different types of things, and it was just hilarious what we would get tangled up with because it took me a little time to learn. See what else we have to do. It can be a social connection. Once you get decent at it, it can be a very, very calming effect on you. That's perfect for a lot of us, okay? It's emotionally comforting. It improves cognition. It's a good thing of working your right and left brain because you're in creation mode, but you're also in thought mode. You've got to think about what you're doing in knitting. You almost cannot put it on automatic. You can for a little bit. Let's see. What else do we have here? It's a great project to start and finish, and there's no pressure. You have it next to your chair. You have it all during your TV shows. You have it anytime you sit to rest. It's really excellent. However, I have to say, I can only knit when it's cold, or at least moving into the fall, into the winter. Right now, I'm done with it, and I won't even look at any of that. I won't think about a sweater or yarn or any of that until the fall really starts to turn chilly and cold. That's when I'll decide I want a new sweater, or I'll be thinking of getting one or making one for someone else. Let's see. It's also very ambidextrous or dexterous for your fingers. So it keeps your fingers strong and limber because you're having to do this thing all the time. So that's a very good thing too as we age. So knitting is very good for the seniors, but the concentration to detail helps you focus, which is great as we're aging. It combats depression, stimulates brain function, provides a sense of accomplishment, and is very positive. It's a very positive outlet for emotions. Let's see. Keeps you flexible. Helps to reduce pain in your fingers. Now, it may, when you first start, it may make them feel a little funny because they're not used to doing it. You know, like they say, if you go out and pitch a baseball, it's really going to hurt your shoulder because you haven't ever done that. So, you know, you got to work up to it. Lowers heart rate and reduces cortisol, which is a stress hormone. I believe that. I definitely believe that. Let me see if there's anything else here. I don't want to leave anything out. Okay, that's it. That is it. Okay, great. That's all I wanted to say. Hey, listen, like and subscribe. And sometimes I feel like I'm the last to know everything. Do you know how all of my videos have that big black border? It's because I had my phone turned vertically, and I guess I'm supposed to keep it horizontal because look now, I've got the whole screen. So anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.